Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Deepak Wadhwa and in today's session we are going to cover agronomy, and this is not just an ordinary session of agronomy. This is kind of marathon session, so I will go little bit fast. But before I start this session, I just need a confirmation from you if my voice is properly audible and my video is properly visible. So just type a Y in the chat section. And while teaching the concept, I'll be asking you the confirmation. So use Y or N. Y stands for yes, N stands for no. So if you are understanding the concept, please type Y. And if you feel like you have doubt and you want to get it repeated, so that's completely fine with me. Type an N in the chat section. Okay, so it is audible to you. Right. So before we start, let me tell you, this class will be in English medium, and this class is specially designed for the student of Karnataka who are preparing for AO or AO examination. And this class is the part of our crash course which we have launched in the collaboration with Agriaddict. Agriaddict, who is mainly handled by Hari Sir. Hari Sir, he is from Karnataka and his team member are also from Karnataka, and this course is related to Karnataka AO. This is why we have a collaboration with them, and they are expert in these subjects, or they are expert in their part, and along with that there will be few subjects which will be covered by us. And in this crash course we are not going to give you just classes. Along with classes, so many things will be there. I'll tell you, but before that, just start with the lecture. Don't waste the time now. Without wasting time, actually you are not wasting time. I'm just giving you the introduction, because before we start you should know everything about the session, because in between the session student will ask me to write or to speak in the Hindi. So this session is basically for the English medium student, right? Okay, so this is for Karnataka AO course, and if you have any query related to this course, so these are the two numbers you can contact. So this course is majorly handled by the Agriaddict, so you can simply call them and they will give you all the information about the course, about the pricing and about everything. Okay, now before we start this session, I will ask you 10 questions. Purpose is not to ask or not to get the answer. Purpose is to tell you the pattern. Because Karnataka AO and AO examination in Karnataka state was conducted almost 8 to 9 years back. Now from last 9 years the pattern has been changed a lot. So what I will do, I will show you 10 questions. Again, I am not asking for the answer. I just want to show you the pattern of the question, that how difficulty level of the question is changing and how the pattern is changing with every year. So first I will show you 5 questions from Karnataka examination, from Karnataka AO or AO examination, and after that I will show you 5 questions from other state examination asked in 2025. So you can simply understand that how pattern is changing, and then I will give you something very special. So question says, crop associated weed, which pair is correctly matched? So they mention the crop name and then the weed name, which one is associated with the crop. Okay, fine. Next question, I'm not giving the answer right now, just want to tell you the level of question. Element responsible for sugar translocation in sugarcane. This is comparatively easy question. Next question says, the term weed was first coined by. So this is something which is simply fact based question. No concept is required, simple fact is there. Okay. Next is the most reliable plant growth parameter. Again from your state exam, which one is the most reliable plant growth parameter? We are going to discuss everything. Okay, last question. Last question from your exam, permaculture was developed by the principle and lesson by. See, this question and this question are straightforward fact based question, and if you see, these are the 5 questions asked in the Karnataka AO or AO examination few years back. Now see the next 5 questions which have been asked in the recent state exam. So I have collected 5 questions from Bihar BHO exam, Bihar BAO exam, and one more exam was conducted in Madhya Pradesh. So 5 questions are from those state exam, so that you can understand how level is changing. See, now the next question is from state exam 2025. SDP required day length less than how many hours for flowering, and which crop among the following is not an SDP? So SDP word was mentioned there. Instead of mentioning short day plant, instead of mentioning the full name of the ministry, full name of the organization, they are mentioning it short. Okay, so then next is, see the length. Previously question was in just one line, but now if you will see, it is covering in 2 lines. So they are increasing the length of the question. Why? To just make sure that the difficulty level is higher, because if more words will be there, it will be comparatively confusing for you. Okay, next question. Calculate the yield of the wheat per hectare if ear heads per meter square are 250, grain per ear heads are 50 and 1000 grain weight is 45.36 gram. Now this seems difficult to answer. How to calculate this we should know. But see, numerical are getting asked. But no numerical was asked in the previous examination by Karnataka government. So it's not about Karnataka examination, it's about the level. In 2017, 18, 19, 20 the level was different, and after this corona period now the level is completely different. Next question. Next question says, which of the following two species of cotton are referred as the new world cotton? Comparatively easy but not that much easy. Next question says, a device for measuring production and leaching losses from a column of the soil under controlled condition is known as which instrument we are using. And the last question is, what is the range of boron hazard for medium boron irrigation water? So my purpose was to show you these questions, not to discuss the answer. Reason was just to tell you the pattern, that how pattern is getting changed 10 years before and after 10 years now the things have been completely different. So first of all, before you start any subject, before you understand, before you learn any subject, you should know the pattern, that how much depth should I follow, what kind of question they can ask in the examination. Now you will say, sir, okay fine, I am clear that pattern have been changed, but how we will understand? Okay, so along with this session, because this is the first session of agronomy, this is why I am delivering on YouTube. Otherwise all the session will be conducted in the crash course of Karnataka AO examination, which is there on the Agriaddict application. And in that course, along with the video of this lecture video will be added. Along with that, this PDF will be added, and apart from this PDF, I will give you one more PDF which is very special. And what is that PDF? That PDF will have all agronomy question. Let me see, where is the PDF? I just want to show you the PDF because that PDF is very important, because that PDF has all the agronomy question from various state exam, different states exam. All the questions are there. Let me show you this PDF once, so that while preparing for the agronomy you should know the pattern. So see, here is the PDF, you can see. Okay, so in this PDF we have collected all the agronomy questions from previous year examination. Agronomy questions only, no other subject question, because once you will cover the agronomy from the lecture notes, from your book, so you should know the pattern. So you can follow these almost 80 page of PDF which has all the questions from crops, irrigation, water, weed management, cropping system, plant physiology, agrometeorology. And one more thing, how will you understand the pattern, and how will you understand that which topic is important or which topic is least important? See, I have also mentioned the number of questions. Almost I have analyzed 5 years question paper, previous 5 years question paper. So yesterday night I was doing this. So I had 32 question paper, and from those 32 question paper I collected only agronomy question, and in all those agronomy questions 117 questions were from crops, then 34 question was from irrigation water management, 25 question was from weed management. Now if you will see, more than 50% of agronomy will be from these three topics only. More than 50% agronomy, crops, irrigation water management and weed management. More than 50% question will be asked from these three topics, and after that obviously remaining topics are also important. 13 question were from cropping system, then plant physiology which is related to agronomy, if 25 question was there, then from agrometeorology 11 question, rain fed agriculture 13 question. Now you can see the number. So I have mentioned the number here so that you can understand this topic is most important. Then accordingly the topics are arranged as per their importance, like precision agriculture and geoinformatics. Only 6 questions were there. The reason is precision agriculture is in discussion from past few years. It was not getting asked in 2015-16, but yes, after 2022 precision farming, satellite, GPS, remote sensing is in great discussion. So this topic is now trending, but it has least question. So you can decide the importance of a particular topic, and then you will see all the questions are there, and not just simple questions are there, all the questions are there along with the exam tag. In which state examination, in which state, in which year it was conducted, it was asked, and after that explanation is there. So question says the gene cry1AC and cry1AB used in corn for which insect resistance are characteristics of which transgenic crop. Now answer, then explanation, and so on. All the question from agronomy from different state exam are collected here. So this PDF, which has almost 80 page, will be added in your course, will be added with this lecture, so that you can understand the pattern. Okay, now I hope we can start the lecture. So after this lecture, what you will get: video, PDF of this lecture, PDF of agronomy question asked in various state examination, and third one will be test of agronomy. Test of agronomy, which will be conducted tomorrow, because there will be 4 sessions of agronomy. First taken by me, second taken by Janvi ma'am, third will be taken by me, and fourth will be taken by Janvi ma'am. So tomorrow in the evening, when she will cover the last session of the agronomy, then we'll give you a test of agronomy, and that test will have 100 questions, but all 100 questions will have solution with it. So with that solution, you can analyze your performance and you can evaluate what you need to know or what you are already knowing. So that's it from my side, guys. Let's start from the lecture. So our part is agronomy, and of course we'll start with the agronomy, but the basic definition of agriculture is compulsory. So what is the meaning of agriculture? Everybody know that agriculture was initially started with the animal husbandry, because the main part, if you will see farmers are earning their major income from the crops. But initially the agriculture was started with the animal husbandry. You will say how? Because the first animal which was domesticated was dog. After dog, the second domesticated animal was sheep, and after sheep it was goat, right? So dog, sheep and goat were the first 3 domesticated animal, and after that crop cultivation was started, and after dog the cultivation was started. So initially we started with the animal husbandry, and the purpose was to rear dog was security purpose, and the dog was also helping in the hunting purpose, right? So initially we started with the animal, then we shifted to the crops. But now if you will see, at that time our farming was subsistence farming. Subsistence farming means farming which is for our survival. Survival means, suppose if I am cultivating crops, and I used to grow only 5 quintal. Production is 5 quintal of rice, and that 5 quintal rice is something which is necessary for the survival of my family. So that means what I am growing is sufficient for feeding my family. So that means I am growing for my survival. So this kind of farming is subsistence farming. So at that time, when we started cultivating the crops, it was subsistence farming only. But today the purpose of growing crops is not subsistence. The purpose is to earn money. So nowadays we are in the commercial farming, and the advanced level of commercial farming is agribusiness management. We are going to discuss all about it, but my main point is that right now our major focus is on earning money. So we are trying to earn money from the crop, that is commercial agriculture. But along with the crops, what we do, we used to rear the animal. So growing of crops plus rearing the animal will be the part of agriculture. So we can say that growing of crops plus allied activity will be agriculture. In allied activity, it can be animal husbandry, it can be poultry, sericulture, apiculture, lag culture, fisheries, prawn culture, or maybe some other culture can be there. So growing of crops plus allied activity will be the part of agriculture. Okay, so agriculture is not just a science, because agriculture is a science which we used to study in the books. But agriculture is an art which is performed by the farmer in the field. So agriculture is an art as well as science in which we used to cultivate the soil, grow crops, and also we rear the livestock. And everybody know that this word is taken from Latin roots, and the roots are agri and cultura. Agri means soil and cultura means cultivation. So cultivation in the soil, cultivation of soil is known as agriculture. Okay, this is known by everybody. Everybody know that what is the meaning of agriculture. Fine. Now few facts are there. First of all, father of agronomy, because our today's subject is agronomy. So father of agronomy is Peter Dissecrenji. Father of tillage is Jethro Tull. Sorry, I'm really sorry. Father of tillage is Jethro Tull. Father of modern tillage is again Jethro Tull. Father of zero tillage is Glabrev B. Triplet. Father of natural farming is Munsobu Fukuoka from Japan. Father of zero budget natural farming, which is also called as ZBNF. And that is very important in India, because this is introduced by the Indian person who is Mr. Subhash Palekar Sahab. And the last one is father of modern organic agriculture. It is Albert Howard. So nowadays examination are asking very high number of questions from zero tillage, from natural farming, from zero budget natural farming, from organic farming as well as from permaculture, है ना? Permaculture, and apart from permaculture, they are also asking question from the sustainable farming, and along with this, now the focus is on precision farming. They are also asking question from precision farming. At this point, when I am starting the subject, I can just tell you the name of these things, but with the lecture I will be explaining everything. So right now just give me a confirmation if you guys are clear what is the meaning of agriculture. That's it. This is something which we have studied till now. Are you guys clear what is the meaning of agriculture? Agriculture means growing of crops plus allied activity will be the part of agriculture. Now next one is agronomy. What is agronomy? So guys, talking about the agronomy is the part of agriculture. In agriculture, we discuss growing of crops plus allied activity. But in case of agronomy, we will only talk about the crops. No animal, no allied activity, only principle related to crops. What kind of principle we are going to talk? So when we talk about the principle, so in agronomy, we will study those principles which are important to increase the production, which are important for the proper protection of the environment, because agronomy will also tell us that in which way we can grow the crop with the minimum harmful practices. Like instead of transplanting rice, if we use SRI system or if we use DSR system, so that will give minimum negative impact on the environment. So all those principles related to crop production we are going to study in the agronomy, or agronomy will tell you about the principle of crop production. And word agronomy is not taken from the Latin language. Agriculture was taken from Latin, but agronomy is taken from the Greek language. So agronomy is taken from the Greek word which has agros means field and nomos means management. So field management, management of field while cultivating the crop is agronomy. So it is defined as the agriculture science which deals with the principle and practices of crop production. As I already told you, here we are not going to talk about any allied activity, only crop production. Principle related to crop production. How can we grow? How can we increase the production? What is the amount of fertilizer? What time of sowing? When harvesting will be done? What should be the storage moisture? What should be the moisture percent at the harvesting time? Everything is related to crop, and these principles we are going to study in the agronomy, which is taken from the Greek word. Okay, that's it. Now you are clear about the difference between agriculture and agronomy. Now let's start with the topic. So next part is evolution of man and agriculture. As I was already telling you that initially humans started rearing the animal, then he shifted to crop culture. So initially the animal who was reared was dog, and after dog it was 8700 BC when we started rearing the sheep, and it was 7700 BC when we started rearing the animal which is goat. Okay. Do you know what is 8700 BC? What is 7700 BC? I mean, do you know what is the meaning of BC? Because one word is BC and another word is AD. So BC and AD is related to the birth of the Jesus Christ. So just take an example. If Jesus Christ took birth today, if something happened before his birth, will be known as before Christ, and if something is happened after his birth, will be known as Anno Domini. So if I will say 5000 AD, so that means that happened after the 5000 years of Jesus Christ. And if I will say, let's say if I will say 5000 BC, so that means it was happened before the birth of Jesus Christ, 5000 years before the birth of Jesus Christ, right? Okay. So BC, so rearing of sheep was started in 8700 BC, goat was started in 7700 BC, but before we started rearing the animal, the ancient man was in the hunting stage, right? Ancient man was in the hunting stage. So in hunting stage, what they were doing, because the ancient man who were in the forest area, he was dying because of hunger. If he is dying because of hunger, so he will have to do something, he will have to eat something to satisfy his appetite. But he don't know how to cook, he don't know how to grow. So what he started killing the animal and started eating the raw meat, because we were not having fire at that time. We don't know how to cook the meat. So he was eating only raw meat at that time. That's it, nothing else. But eventually when he was hunting the animal, he realized that there are some animal which can be reared, there are some animal which can be kept for the companionship, there are some animal which can help in the hunting, and the perfect example for all these was dog. So after hunting, the next civilization stage was pastoral, where people started rearing the animal. Now that animal will help in the hunting purpose. So this is why dog was the first animal who was domesticated. Okay, now after pastoral stage, what happened? In pastoral stage, the man was rearing the animal. The man was rearing the animal, and for that he will have to stay near to the water source. Why? Because animal needs water, man needs water. So he started staying near to the water source. He realized that near to the water source there is more vegetation. But if we go far away from the water source, there is less vegetation. What is the reason? He realized something relation with the water and soil, and with this relation, with this understanding, he started knowing about growing of crops. And when the ancient man started knowing about the crops or how to grow the crops, then we were at the third stage of the human civilization, which was crop culture. We were not able to produce more, we were not in the commercial farming, we were just in the subsistence farming. But the good point is, now the person know how to grow the crops. So initially hunting was there, only hunting, nothing else. Then he started knowing how to rear the animal, then it was pastoral stage. Now you will think, sir, why it is pastoral? Hunting we can simply relate, he was hunting. How pastoral is related to rearing? See, pastoral word is coming from pasture. Pasture means grazing land. So if you will rear animals, so you need grazing land. So from that word is coming pastoral. So pastoral means when we started rearing the animal, and then crop culture, everybody is clear. After that we realized how to grow the crops, so we started growing the crops. But at this time the farming was subsistence, and we were only able to produce that much which is required for our family. Now from so many years we are growing the crops. So obviously if we are growing the crops, so we will improve our technology. If techniques were improved, so production will be increased. So now after a time the production was increased. When the production was increased, so that ancient man was having surplus. What is surplus? Surplus means extra. So suppose I need 5 quintal for my family, I was able to grow 4 quintal only. So that means anyhow I'm just trying to ensure the survival of my family. But now the production is increasing, 5 quintal, 6 quintal, up to 6 quintal I am okay, because for my family I need 5 quintal. But when I have 7 quintal, 8 quintal, so that means I have surplus. Now if I have surplus, so I can start selling it. But I don't know, even at that time when we started selling, no coin, no currency note were there, but we were having surplus. So for surplus they started exchanging it with the other person, and when we started exchanging it with the other person, so that human civilization stage is known as trade. Can you tell me, guys, what is the name of that system where we used to exchange the things, that I have pen, you have pencil, you need pen, I need pencil, so give me your pencil, I will give you my pen. So no exchange of money, just the exchange of goods is happening. What is that system called, which was the base of the commercialization, which was the base of the trade in the world? Because world trade started with this system only, but eventually we realized that we need money, we need currency, so we invented coin, we invented note, and now the trade has been shifted to currency note. But that system, of course, yes, that system is known as barter system. So initially the base of the trade was started with the barter system, and then we moved so on. So we started growing surplus. Now we are in the fourth stage of the human civilization, which is called as trade. This is why we used to grow the crops, because if you talk about the survival, so for the family survival we don't need sugar cane, but we grow sugar cane. We don't need which crop? Cotton, hai na? So cotton is a cash crop. We don't need cotton for the survival of the family. Even we don't need tobacco, we don't need tea or coffee, but these crops are mainly grown for the earning money. So now the agriculture has been completely shifted. Now the agriculture is focused on earning money. So this agriculture is known as commercial agriculture. Commercial agriculture is the advanced stage of this civilization stage, which is known as trade. I need a confirmation in the chat section. Are you guys clear? There were 4 human civilization stage. First was hunting, then we moved to rearing animal, which is known as pastoral. Along with the animal, we started rearing the crops, then it is known as crop culture, and when we were having surplus, we started exchanging it with the people, which is the base of the trade, and the stage is known as human civilization stage is known as trade. Is it clear to everyone? I need a Y in the chat section. Okay, and if you guys are unable to understand, you can ask your doubt anytime. Okay guys, let's move forward. Right now for next 30 minutes, we will go little slow so that you can match with my pronunciation, because if people are attending this class from North India, they will be able to understand my English. But Southern India means you have comparatively little bit different pronunciation, and that's completely fine. So if you face difficulty, so with these 30 minutes of teaching, you will be adaptable, or you will understand my English. And even, I'm not good English because I used to speak Hindi all the time. I used to teach in Hindi all the time. So it is comparatively difficult, but I hope so you guys are getting my English, and I will try to give my best. Okay. Now next we are going to discuss about the crop classification. So what is the meaning of crop? Everybody know there are 2 words. One is weed, one is crop. If it is unwanted, we can call it weed. If it is wanted, we can call it crop. So crop means that plant which we are cultivating the soil for the economic purpose. Economic purpose means for the profit, for earning money. Like we started growing the plants in the crop culture stage. So why we called it crop culture? Why not weed culture? Because weed cannot be cultured. We are not growing weed. We are growing crops, but weed is unwanted. So unwanted, non-profitable is weed. But if a plant grown by us, so that means it is wanted and it will be giving us money. So that plant will be known as crop. Okay, so it can be cereal crop, legume crop, fiber, oil seed, or some other crops can be there. Now talking about the classification. So in classification, depend upon the basis, that what is the base you are taking to classify the crop. In basis, it can be it can be based on the day length, like it can be short day or long day. It can be based on the economic use, cereal crop, legume crop, oil seed crop, sugar crop, starch crop, root crop, tuber crop, or there can be some other also. So I will give you the classification of crops, only those points which need explanation, and those points which don't need explanation will be the part of your notes, or you can study from the books. But yes, conceptual part I will cover in the lecture. So first is the based on ontogeny. Ontogeny, which is also called as life cycle. What is the meaning of life cycle? Like in case of human, when we take birth, so birth to death, it is known as our life cycle, which will be 50 to 100 years, not 500 years. It can be from 50 to 100 years. This is human life cycle. But in case of plant, how we consider the life cycle of the plant? It is simply seed to seed stage, right? So if we have seed and we will put that seed in the soil, it will germinate, it will grow, it will produce flowers, and after in the end it will produce seed. So seed to seed stage is known as life cycle. Like today, if I am putting the seed of the wheat in the soil, and after 5 months, after 4 months, it will again grow the seed of the wheat. So that means this is the complete life cycle which have been done in the 4 to 5 months. So based on the life cycle, crops will be divided into 3 categories. One is annual crop, second is biennial crop, third one is perennial crop. So talking about the annual, biennial and perennial crop, what is the difference in these 3? Annual means the crop which will complete their life cycle within 1 year. Within 1 year means it can be 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, but within 1 year. So generally these crops are seasonal crop. The crop which we grow in the Kharif season, in the Rabi season, or in the Zaid season. Like take example of rice and wheat. Rice and wheat used to complete their life cycle within 4 to 6 months or within 4 to 5.5 months, because generally the long duration variety of the rice will take 160 days, right? And short duration will take 110, 120 or 130 days. So usually the life cycle is around 5 months. So 5 months means within a year. So all the seasonal crop which used to complete their life cycle within one season are known as annual crops. Like onion. I just want to ask you about onion. Can I say that onion is annual crop? Because earlier I said rice and wheat is annual crop. But onion, like I used to grow onion in my house which is in the village. So there we have a kitchen garden and we used to grow the onion there. So when we grow within one cycle, it produced the bulb and we used to harvest that onion. So once the bulb is produced, once the commercial part is produced, we used to harvest it. And this is happening within one season. So can I call onion as annual? You said no. The reason is I said within one season we are able to produce bulb, because the main part of the onion, the main productive part is known as bulb. But bulb is not seed. Life cycle will consider when seed stage will come. But right now I am talking about the bulb. So maybe the way we are growing the onion, it can be annual. But in standard we cannot classify the onion in the annual category. The reason is it will take 2 seasons. First season for the vegetative growth. So bulb is the part of vegetative growth, but seed will come in the next season. So this is why instead of calling onion annual crop, it will be called as, of course, biennial. So talk about the most of the root crop, like onion can be there, carrot can be there, beetroot. These are the example of biennial crop. So biennial means when they will complete their vegetative growth in the first season, and in the next season they will complete the reproductive growth. So initially vegetative growth one season, reproductive growth next season. So this is why these crop will be known as biennial. So annual crop are very simple. Within the season, within the year, they will complete the life cycle. So here the photos you can see, maybe that is lettuce, cotton, tomato, cowpea, wheat, maize, sweet potato, mustard, all are completing their life cycle within one season. This is why all these crop will be called as annual crop. But the major example which are important for your examination are biennial. For biennial, as you already said, biennial means they will complete vegetative growth in the first season. In next season, they will complete the reproductive phase, or you can say flowering plus seed stage. This is why it will be called as biennial. Here you can see the plants or example of biennial crop, and if you see these images, you will feel little bit confused. Sir, I'm able to recognize, sir, is it cabbage? Yes, this is cabbage, fine. Can you tell me the name of this crop? Anybody guys, the name of this crop? Because most of you will feel confusing after seeing the photo of this. The reason is this photo is taken from the second season, not from the first season. So mostly we see this crop in the first season only, but yes, you are able to recognize it. So this one is known as onion. So this is the second phase, this is the second stage, this is the reproductive stage of onion. So generally we harvest the onion at the bulb stage only, at the vegetative stage only. This is why we do not see these kind of growth in the onion. But if you will proceed further with the seed growth of the onion, you will see this kind of image. So this is again biennial. Can you tell me the name of this crop, guys? Anybody try to recognize this? Because everybody know the name of this crop, but everybody have seen it in the first year. But this is the growth in the second year. So first year they will complete their vegetative part, but here the photos are added from the second year. What can be the example of the biennial crop? It can be beetroot, cabbage, carrot, onion, sugar beet or sugar cane. These are the example of biennial crop, and these examples are very important because nobody will feel confused in the annual, nobody will feel confused in the perennial, but yes, people will feel confused in the biennial. So you should know the example of biennial crop. But now again you will feel confused about the sugar cane. Sir, is sugarcane biennial? Yes, standard in commercial area we classify it biennial, because if the sugarcane is grown in the forest area, if it is growing naturally in the forest area, so it will be work as a perennial, means it will be there for more than 3 years, and if a crop is surviving for more than 3 years, it will be known as perennial. So in forest area the sugarcane is perennial. So sir, how can you say this is biennial? So I said forest area. Forest area means you are not growing there. So in forest area it is just a grass. So sugarcane as a grass, it will be perennial, but sugarcane as a crop in your study will be considered as biennial. Right guys? Okay, so these are the example of biennial crops. Now perennial. Annual within one season. Biennial means within two seasons. First vegetative, then reproductive. Perennial means the plant which will stay for three or more than 3 years. So perennial example will mostly related to the horticulture, because in agronomy most of the in agronomy 99% crops are annual only, but there are few examples which can be classified in biennial, because if you'll see most of the example related to horticulture, not related to agronomy, right? So in agronomy most crops are annual. Now perennial, obviously fruit trees will be perennial, so coconut, banana, mango, guava, whatever the fruit is coming in your mind, most of them are perennial crop. The napier grass is also perennial. So perennial means which will grow for more than 3 years, or which will grow for 3 years. They will complete their life cycle, but they will survive for more than 3 years, or for 3 years will be known as perennial crop. I need a Y in the chat section if you guys are clear about annual, biennial and perennial. And if you are clear, then we will proceed further and we will discuss about the classification based on the climate. So based on the climate, what is the classification of crop? Now based on climate, if you want to classify India, so first of all you should know about the climate of India. Do you guys know about the climate? Of course, yes, yaar, hai na? You know about the climate of India. Like if I'll go with the India's map, so here you will see India has majorly 4 regions, like eastern region, north, west and south. Most of you are attending this class from southern region of India. Yes guys, yes or no? Tell me from where you are attending this class. What is this? I need home page. Okay, yeah, you said tropical temperate, hai na? So if you are in southern India, so that means you are in the tropical region. I don't know why it is not working. I just want to show you the okay, fine. I will simply go with the India's map. So guys, if you will see India's map, so everybody know that India has majorly divided into the 4 parts: east, west, north and south. So most of you are in the south at this time, and southern region means it is tropical region. It is tropical region of India, and tropical region means it has hot climate, right? Okay, so fine. So if you'll go with this image, in this region, so this is called as eastern region, east part of India, west part of India, north, and this one is south. So if you are below the Madhya Pradesh, because Madhya Pradesh and nearest area are the part of central India, and below this part is known as southern part of India. Southern part has tropical climate, like extreme tropical climate you will experience in Andaman Nicobar, in Lakshadweep Island, and near to that coastal region like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. These are the part of tropical climate. Now if you'll go above, right, if you're going above the sea level, temperature will start decreasing. Here you will feel more heat throughout the year. Even in the December and January month, the temperature will be more than 20 degree, not less than 20 degree in most of the part. Here the temperature or climate is mild. If you'll go to this part, the temperature will be very low. Like I'm not sure from which part of India you're attending this class, but just see, I'm just searching for the temperature and I will show you the temperature in Leh. Leh is the part of Leh Ladakh. Now it is a union territory. So see the temperature in the Leh, it is 12 degrees centigrade right now. And one more, I will search for Rohtang. Leh and Rohtang both are the part of the North India. See in Rohtang it is 12 degrees centigrade, but where I am standing right now, it should be around 30. So see in my place the temperature is around 36 degrees centigrade. And if I will search for Hyderabad, so Hyderabad means again near to this only. So here because cloud is there, so 30 degree temperature. Why I am telling you the temperature of different city? My purpose is to tell you that India is divided into different climates. So if you will divide the India into 2 parts, so the lower one part have tropical climate and the upper one has subtropical. And if you will see these areas, so these areas will share temperate climate. So generally on climate base, we used to classify the crops into 3 parts: tropical, subtropical and temperate. But here in this photo, one more region is there, which is polar or polar region. So what is this polar or polar region? So guys, polar region means where extreme temperature is very less. All the time area is covered by the snowfall. So in snowfall there will be no crop, only little vegetation, grasses can grow. So this is why in agriculture we don't consider this climate, because we cannot grow crops in this climate. But yes, climate exists. So based on climate we can classify into 4 parts, but based on crop it will be tropical, subtropical or temperate. Like right now I am the part of subtropical region, you guys are the part of tropical region. Just because of tropical and subtropical, when we study about the cropping system, so in cropping system in Punjab the major cropping system is rice and wheat. In Punjab the major cropping system is rice and wheat, but some areas of southern part of India has cropping system as rice and rice, or you can also call it paddy and paddy. So how it is possible that people who used to grow wheat in the Rabi season, at the same time people from southern part of India are growing rice? Because we used to grow rice at the same time in the Kharif season, which has tropical climate. But how this is possible that you people used to grow rice in the temperate climate? Because wheat is a part of temperate climate, but it is a part of subtropical climate. Why it is possible? Because southern India means it has different climate in the December and January month. So in southern India it is possible to grow rice in those winter month in December and January, but in the north India or in the western part of India the temperature is very less and it is not possible to grow the paddy. This is why we used to grow the wheat. So why the example is different, rice and wheat and rice and rice? Just because of climate. So we have various climates. So where tropical climate is hot climate, where more vegetation, more rainfall will occur. Subtropical means comparatively less temperature, and temperate, as you can see with the photo, which has very less. So temperate, generally in the Rabi season in North India we grow temperate crop only, wheat, barley, oat, gram, potato. Subtropical, rice and cotton. Rice can be grown in subtropical as well as tropical climate. Even sugarcane can also be grown in the subtropical and tropical, but sugarcane prefer tropical climate. It can be grown in subtropical also, but it prefer tropical climate. So based on the climate, major part are tropical, subtropical and temperate, but yes, polar crops can also be there. Okay, next one is the classification of crops based on the growing season. Now this one is most important part. In your examination this can be asked. So guys, when we talk about the based on the season, so everybody know that there are 2 major seasons. Yes, there are only 2 major seasons. First one is Kharif season and the second one is Rabi season. Now people are thinking, no sir, there are 3 seasons. So guys, yes, there are 3 seasons, but I said main season. So mainly we have only 2 seasons, Kharif and Rabi. But yes, if you want to talk about the total season, so one other season which is not commercially important, that is known as Jayas season. So when we talk about the harvesting and sowing time, so Kharif sowing will start from June to July. In June it will be started in southern India, but southwest monsoon will reach in the north part in the end of June or starting of July. This is why we used to start the sowing in the July month or in the end of the June month. So sowing time of the Kharif is considered as June to July and harvesting time is considered as September to October. This time is very crucial. This time is very important. June, July is not that much important, but September, October is very important. Do you know why? Because September, October is the harvesting time and October, November is the sowing time of the Rabi crops. So if you'll see carefully, September, October, November, that means we don't have much time in between the harvesting of the previous crop and sowing of the upcoming crop, and we don't have time. Now guys, just try to realize or just try to understand, I am from Punjab and I am the one who used to grow paddy in the Kharif season, and now it's Rabi season. I want to harvest my paddy. At the same time I am in hurry to grow the next crop, which is wheat, but after the harvesting of the paddy there is stubble on the soil. So as a farmer mindset, not as a student or because you have studied so many solutions, but if I'm a farmer not aware about so many things, but I am in hurry, after harvesting the paddy I want to sow the wheat. So can you tell me what will be the best management according to farmer for the paddy straw? It will be burning. We know burning is harmful for the environment, burning is harmful for the soil. This is why I said just started thinking as a farmer. So for farmer only one solution is there, that that is burning of the paddy straw, which is the major issue of North India. And why burning is the only solution? Because they don't have time in between. Government or our universities are suggesting them so many solutions, like it can be zero tillage, that without the burning you can sow the seed in the standing stubble of the paddy only by using a zero till drill, by using happy seeder. Now we have turbo happy seeder. Do you guys know two different machines are there? One is happy seeder, one is turbo happy seeder. Then we have super seeder, we have lucky seeder. So with this it is possible to grow the wheat crop without the burning of the paddy straw, or within the paddy straw we can grow. But the best alternative as farmer, that is burning. This is why they used to burn the paddy straw. The reason is they don't have more time or much time in between the harvesting and sowing of the Rabi. Now Rabi harvesting will be mainly done in March to April, because sometime in fewer crops like legumes, some legume crops which have short duration, harvesting can be done in the Feb also. In February month harvesting can be done, but most of the time the harvesting will start in the March to April. And then Jaya season, so in between time April to June or April to May, so these 2-3 months which will left in between the harvesting or sowing of the Kharif, if somebody want to grow the crops, they can grow few vegetable or seasonal fruits in this season. Otherwise most of the time we used to keep the land fallow at this time. What is the meaning of fallow? Fallow means without growing anything. And why are you keeping fallow this land? The reason is, if you will grow continuously on the land, so that means crops are taking nutrition. So if you will grow 3 crops in a year, so there will be reduced fertility in the soil, because the plants continuously taking the nutrition. So this is why we used to keep the land fallow, so that land can regenerate itself, land can take a rest. So after taking a rest, now in Kharif season your soil will be able to perform in a better way, right guys? Okay, now Kharif crops. Kharif crops are sometimes also termed as monsoon crop. Why? Because the major monsoon of India is southwest monsoon, which is giving us 70 to 75% of rainfall. And when monsoon will come, when southwest monsoon will come, sowing will be start. This is why sometimes we'll call it monsoon crops, or we also call it monsoon season. Now monsoon is very important because Kharif season or Kharif season crop require more water. Rabi season crop require comparatively less water. So here we require more water, but we don't have much irrigation. As per the data, on an average, if you see the approximate area covered by irrigation, so in India, total agriculture land, only 49% area is irrigated area. The remaining one, which is 51%, this is unirrigated area. We don't have irrigation source on the 51% land. So that means if we don't have source of what we have southwest monsoon. So in this season, southwest monsoon plays very important role, because if monsoon will be good, because right now because of climate change, we guys are discussing a concept which is known as El Nino or La Nina, which is known as El Nino and La Nina, because it's a Spanish term. So El Nino and La Nina is changing the pattern of the monsoon. Sometimes monsoon is very heavy, sometimes the monsoon is very low. And because of this changing in the weather pattern, changing in the monsoon pattern, now we are unable to grow the traditional crops. Can you tell me that term in the chat section? What is that term called as, where we are trying to develop new variety, where we are trying to develop new practices? By using that, we will be able to grow crop in the future. Because in future there will be global warming, there will be changed climate. The previous variety, existing crops are unable to survive in that climate. So we are trying to develop those practices, those variety which can survive in that changing environment, which can survive in those greenhouse gases in the global in this global warming. And that type of agriculture is known as sustainable. No, it's not called as sustainable. It is related to climate, because climate is changing. So based on that changing climate, we will have to adapt, or we will have to develop those technology which can make the crops able to survive in the new climate. And yes, it is known as, no guys, it's not precision agriculture, it's not protective cultivation, it's not sustainable. It is called as CSA. What is CSA? Yes, now you got it, है ना? CEO Rocky, you are right. It is called as climate smart agriculture, or otherwise it is also known as climate resilient agriculture. So climate resiliency means now the crop will be developed in that way that they can survive in the new climate, in the changed climate, in the adverse climate. So that is known as climate resilient farming or climate resilient agriculture, or you can call it climate smart farming or climate smart agriculture. So CSA means climate smart agriculture, and it's in discussion, guys. I don't think so that question will be asked from the inorganic farming, or a question will be asked from the subsistence farming. I feel like that in your examination question will be asked from the precision farming, from sustainable farming, from climate smart agriculture, from climate resilient agriculture, from drone, from AI use. So from these kind of topic questions should be asked, because nowadays these things are in discussion. Right, guys? Okay, are you guys clear what is the meaning of climate resilient agriculture? As I already mentioned, in the new climate, if you will be able to grow the crops, so those new practices, those new variety which we are developing, it will be known as climate resilient agriculture. Right? Yes, somebody said crop grow in adverse condition, you can say that is known as climate resilient agriculture. Coming back to the point, I was talking about the water requirement. So water requirement will be more in the Kharif season because of a high temperature, and also one more factor, that is wind velocity, because in case of Rabi, the wind velocity is comparatively higher. Because of higher wind velocity, the wind will absorb more water from the leaf area, so leaf will have to absorb more water. So if leaf are absorbing more water for the transpiration purpose, so more water requirement. So water requirement will be more based on wind velocity and based on high temperature. But one more factor is there which also affect the water requirement, that is relative humidity. When the relative humidity will be higher, the water requirement will be comparatively less, and when the RH will be lower, the water requirement will be increased. How, sir? Because more RH means that air has more moisture. If air will have more moisture, so air will not absorb the water from the leaf, from the surface of the body. Let me try to give an example. Have you ever experienced this, that you were in the summer month, you were feeling uncomfortable, and you saw clouds in the sky, and you were very happy that today it will rain and now I will feel relax. So it was raining for a few minutes, just for 1 to 2 minutes, and now you are thinking that okay, fine, comparatively less rainfall is there, but I will feel little bit relaxed. But instead of comfort, you were in the discomfort. After that 2 minutes of rainfall, you were feeling highly oh yeah, it's too hot today. Even the temperature after that rainfall is decreased by 1 or 2 degrees centigrade, but still you are feeling more uncomfortable. Is it happened with you? Why it is happening with you? The reason is because of a high RH. Because in summer month the surface was very hot, rainfall was there. Now the rainfall water immediately touching the hot surface, it will be evaporated. After evaporated, the air will absorb it. Once the air will absorb, the RH will increase. If RH will increase, so that means earlier the air was having 50 or 60% RH, but now the air has 80 to 90% RH. Now you are waiting that your body, which is producing sweat, will be absorbed by the air. Air is unable to absorb because air already has vapor inside it. Air has more RH, and the way air is not able to absorb the sweat from your body, in the same way air will not be able to absorb the water from the leaf surface area. This is why in high RH the water requirement will be less, in low RH water requirement will be high. Yes, is it clear to all of you? Okay, yes means I need yes from your side if it is clear to you. So classification we already discussed. Based on season we have Kharif, Rabi and Zaid. And why we always start from the Kharif, which is known as monsoon or rainy season? The reason is agriculture crop year in India which starts from 1 July to 31 June. Agriculture is from 1st June to 31st May. Please make sure agriculture year 1st June to 31st May, but agriculture crop year is 1st July to 31st June. So 1st July means starting of the agriculture year and 1st July means starting of the Kharif season. So this is why whenever we start studying, so we do not write Rabi, Zaid or Kharif, or we do not write Zaid, Kharif and Rabi, we write Kharif, because if you'll see with the year, so 2026 was started. Kharif Rabi was already going on. So the first season in 2020 which will start, it is Zaid, because Zaid will start earlier than the Kharif. So we should say Zaid, Kharif and Rabi, but we never say this. We say Kharif, Rabi and Zaid. Why? Because agriculture crop year is starting from the 1st July, and that is the starting of the Kharif season also. Okay. So, and financial year, obviously everybody know 1st April to 31st March. Even financial year is not important. Example of crop, you'll have to learn the example. I told you the basic of the Kharif, Rabi and Zaid. Next one, we already discussed this point that in India 51% area is unirrigated and 49% area is irrigated. So if you have resources to supply water to the crops, that means it is irrigated area. And if there are no water resources, it will be rain fed. In rain fed area, you will grow the crop which will be able to survive in the drought condition, in the drought condition, in the condition where severe water scarcity can happen. So in rain fed, we will not grow rice, because rice cannot be grown in the rain fed. But yes, jawar, bajra, mung, these kind of crop require less water, we can grow in the rain fed. In irrigated, chili, sugar, banana, papaya, paddy, these can be grown in the irrigated area. Okay, so this was the classification based on the season, then based on the irrigation method or based on the availability of water. Next one is classification based on the economic importance. Food crop, everybody know, if we are eating something that is food crop, so we used to eat rice, pulses, oil seed, these can be classified as the part of food crop. But there are few crops which we do not consume, we used to sell in the market only. We will harvest those crops and we will sell directly into the market. Why we are selling in the market? Because we don't need those crops at the home, or we cannot consume those crops directly at the home. We need the processed version of those crops. Like talk about the tea, talk about the coffee, talk about the potato, not potato actually, I will talk about the potato, but right now tea, coffee, sugarcane, cotton, tobacco, these crops require processing. So we used to grow these crops just to sell in the market so that we can earn money. So we are growing those crops for the cash purpose. This is why we will call them cash crop. So cash crop means which we do not use in the house, we simply sell in the market, and those crops are the source of cash. So we will call it cash crop, and we are eating, they will be known as food crops. So two crops are there based on the economic importance. One is cash crop, another one is food crop. So guys, here you can see all are the example of cash crop, because tea is only for earning, cotton, sugarcane for earning, and coffee, cocoa which you used to grow in your southern part of India, so of course it is also for the earning purpose. Guys, can you tell me what is the commercial product which we make from cocoa? Because everybody know about the coffee, about sugarcane, because these are the product made by sugarcane, cotton which we used to wear, tea everybody know, but I want to know about the cocoa. Girls, can you tell me the answer? Sir, why girls only? Because there is a product made by cocoa which is mostly consumed by the girls. What is that? Yes, है ना? So from cocoa we used to extract cocoa fat, which is also called as cocoa butter, and cocoa butter is used to make chocolates. So chocolate will be made from the cocoa fat. Cocoa fat will come from cocoa. So ultimate product of cocoa is chocolate. But now the girls need to understand what? That chocolate is made from cocoa. Cocoa means what product? It is cocoa fat. So chocolate has purely fat, nothing else. So if you are asking your boy to bring chocolate for you, please don't do that, because after eating chocolate you will be, so you should avoid chocolate. This is a genuine advice to girls, and indirectly I'm trying to save the money of boys, because if they will not ask for the chocolate, so that means you'll be saving your 192 rupees. Okay, coming back to the point. Next one is food crops. Obviously everybody know that we used to eat these crops, and this is why it will be known as food crops. Fine. Next one, classification based on the length of photo period required for floral initiation. Guys, do you know what is the meaning of photo? Right now you are attending this class on the YouTube, but if you are there on the Zoom, so I can see your face. So suppose you are attending the class on Zoom and I want to take your photo. So what I will do, I will simply locate the camera in front of your face and I will take the photo. Why I'm talking about the photo? Because we used to call it photo which we capture from the camera, but it's not photo. It's called as photograph. What is the meaning of photograph? Photograph means the detail of a person, the facial feature of a person, the graphical representation form which is taken in the photo. In the photo means in the light. Photo means light. So where the word says photo period, because the photo means light, because we say photograph, photo period, phototropism, and so photo means it is always light. So it says photo means light, period means duration. So for how many duration your plant required light, not for growth, for what? For floral initiation. So if your plant is asking that I will be needing 14 hours of light for the flowering purpose, that means your plant is long day plant. And if your plant says that I am okay with 10 hours of light to produce the flower, so that means your plant is short day plants. So if plant require 10 to 12 hours of light, 10 to 12 hours of light for the floral initiation, that means it is short day plant. But if plant is saying I need more than 12 hours, I need for 12 to 14 hours, that means the plant is long day. But please make sure short day or long day, it is not related to growth of the plant, it is related to the floral initiation, because they need long day for floral initiation for long day plants and they need short day for the floral initiation in case of short day plants. Is it clear, guys? So it's not related to growth, because most of the students, when they are in the initial stage of learning phase, they are confused. They think in Kharif the days are long, so Kharif crops are long day crop, and in Rabi days are short, so Rabi crops are short day. And you know, I'm giving you wrong example. Why? Because we think in Kharif days are long, but Kharif crops are short day crops, Rabi crops are long day crops, because it is not related to growth, it is related to flowering. So when the Kharif crop will start producing flowering, it will be decreasing day length, and when the Rabi crop will start flowering, it will be increasing day length. This is why most of the Rabi crops are long day crops and most of the Kharif crops are short day crops, right, guys? Okay, one more category is there which is known as day neutral. So short day, long day means less than 10 to 12 hours short day, more than 12 hours or 12 to 14 hours it will be long day. And plants, those don't care about the photo period, maybe 6 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours, they will be able to produce flowering. They will say no, I'm okay if you'll grow me in December, in January, in March, April, whatever the photo period is there, I don't care about it. So that will be called as a day neutral plant. So day neutral plant means they don't consider the light duration for the initiation of flowering. They can start the flowering in any stage. They are known as day neutral. If they need long day, more than 12 to 14 hours for flowering, they are long day. If they need less than 12 hours or 10 to 12 hours, they will be called as short day plants. And now you will have to learn the example, and example are something which are purely fact. You will have to learn it. Next one, further division of short day and long day. So guys, short day and long day plants are further divided into two parts. One is qualitative, one is quantitative. Do you know the difference between qualitative and quantitative? I will just try to relate it with the example, just to what should I say, because if I will continuously giving example, if I am continuously teaching you, so you will feel little bit bored. So just to refresh you, I will just give an example. Suppose if you have a opposite gender friend. In case of girls you have a boy, in case of boy you have a girl. So there can be two categories of these friends. One who used to make promise once in 6 months, once in 1 year, or once in so many years. So that means if he or she is making only one promise in so many years, in so many months, so this is something which is quality. He or she will try to keep. But do you have that kind of friend who used to make promise in every 1 hour? No, don't worry, I will do that for you. Obviously, yaar, I will come. Arey yaar, how can you say I will do this for you? Arey, definitely it will be done. He used to do these kind of promises with all the friends, and at least 30 to 40 promise in a day. So that means these are qualitative. These are quantitative. So quantitative means they are just the promises, will not be fulfilled. But the one who used to make promise once in a year, that means it will be fulfilled. So now I am trying to relate it with this, because quality means if the plant is saying I will do this, that means plant will follow his word. But quantity means it's okay. Plant is saying that I am short day, but plant is not short day. Plant will do whatever the condition says. How? In case of qualitative plants, qualitative means those that have an absolute, permanent, they have compulsion or compulsory requirement for the given day length. Maybe that plant can be a short day, that plant can be a long day plant, but they said we are qualitative short day plants, we are qualitative long day plants, we will remain in the vegetative stage until until we don't receive the desired photo period. So for example, if a qualitative plant is short day plants, so now short day plant will say that I need a length of 10 hours in the photo period to induce flowering, but the length is going beyond 12 hours. Now this short day plants will remain in the vegetative condition for 1 day, 2 day, 1 month, 2 months. It will wait for the perfect time, that if it will be less than 12 hours, then only I will start the flowering, otherwise no. So that means this plant is qualitative. But the another one is quantitative, facultative, or also known as facultative. So quantitative means quantitative short day plants will initiate flowering even in the long day. If it is a qualitative short day plants, it will not start flowering in the long day, but quantitative will start flowering even in the long day. Plant is short day, but it will start in the long day, but initiation of flowering will be delayed by a few days to months, because initially this plant will also wait for the perfect day length. But if it is not taking or not having perfect day length, it will start flowering, but in this case they will wait for the perfect length, otherwise they will remain in the vegetative stage only. Give me a Y in the chat section if you are clear what is the difference between qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative means they will remain in the vegetative state, not start flowering until they do not receive the perfect photo period, but here they will wait, they will be create slight delay, but if they are not receiving perfect photo period, so that means they will start producing flowering even in case they are not having desired photo period. Clear guys? Short day, long day, day neutral, and then qualitative and quantitative. Is it clear to each and every one, guys? Okay, thank you so much. Let's move forward. Now change the topic. So this was about the introduction of agronomy and classification of crop. But now we will move forward to a little bit advanced topic. That will be cropping pattern, cropping system, cropping scheme, crop rotation intensity, and crop rotational intensity. So in next 20 to 30 minutes we are going to discuss all these. So first of all, it is cropping pattern, and you don't need to study this concept, because with this image only you will be able to understand what is cropping pattern. To tell you what is cropping pattern, I would like to show you a shirt. Why, sir? The reason is, you will understand. Right now, if you will see the shirt I am wearing, it is kind of plain shirt because it has only one color, which is black. So this is something which is plain shirt. But here if you will see, suppose I am standing on a shop, I want to buy a shirt and he was showing me this shirt. I said, no, yaar, this is plain shirt, I want something in the different pattern. So he will say, okay, you want different pattern, do you want check or do you want print? I said, show me the check. So he will start showing these kind of pattern. So can we call that the shirt which I am wearing and the shirt which I am showing both have different pattern? Of course, yes. Why? Because this area of the shirt is not captured. This shirt has only black color, but here if you'll see, now the shirt is divided into different color, and because of those boxes the shirt will be called as check shirt. But what is the relation of check shirt with the cropping pattern? So guys, it's very simple. Cropping pattern means the proportion of the area occupied by the different crops will be known as cropping pattern. For example, just see, here it is showing 6 crop because the image is generated by the AI. So otherwise we do not grow 6 crops generally in our area, but obviously we can grow at least 2 crops. So simply understand with this example, you are a farmer and you are growing crops in your area, and say it is Kharif season. In Kharif season you have a field of 10 acres. In 10 acres you decided to grow paddy on the 9 acres of land. Why? Because the paddy is main commercial crop of this season, but you also have animal in the house, and for animal you decided to grow fodder crop in 1 hectare area. So fodder in 1 hectare, paddy in 9 acres. Other person, there can be someone else who has 10 acres of land and his main business is animal rearing, his main business is dairy farming. So for that purpose he is growing fodder on the 6 hectare and paddy on the 4 hectare or 4 acre, whatever you will say. So he is growing paddy on 4 and fodder on 6 hectare. So you are growing in 1 and 9, he is growing on 6 and 4. Someone else can be there, he will grow on 5 and 5, or someone else will be there who will grow only paddy on the 10 hectare of land. So doesn't matter that you are growing 1 crop, 2 crop, 3 crop, 4 crop, or you can grow 5 or 6 crop in a season, but basically the area which you are allocating to each crop, so that allocation, that proportion which is given to each crop, so this will be known as cropping pattern. Like you can see in the image, 25% area of the field is given to wheat, then to rice, mustard, fodder, vegetable, pulses. So the area which you are dividing from your total area, this will be known as cropping pattern. So the pattern of crops for a given piece of land means the proportion of area under various crop at a point of time in a unit area. So you have 10 acres of land, in 10 acres of land you have divided area like this. This will be known as cropping pattern. Tell me yes or no, are you guys clear what is cropping pattern? Of course you are clear. Now this was the just definition of cropping pattern. If you actually want to implement this in the field, then it will not be just cropping pattern. Why? Because if you want to grow the exact pattern in the field, even this is wrong, because wheat and rice at the same time is not possible. But suppose if you want to grow something like this, so what do you need? You need a cropping pattern, that is fine, but along with that cropping pattern you need water, you need sunshine, you need land, you need pesticide, you need seed, means you need resources. Yes or no? Along with the cropping pattern you need resources. So when we talk about the cropping pattern plus resources, instead of calling it resources you can call it management, because resources allocation is the part of management. Like today I was having 24 hours, I have so many tasks to do in the day, but I allocated 2 hours to the Karnataka AO examination, right? So this is my decision how I want to allocate my resources, this is my management. So when we talk about the cropping pattern plus resources, or you can say cropping pattern plus management, so cropping pattern plus management is known as cropping system, right? Cropping pattern plus management will be known as cropping system. So cropping pattern means allocation of the land in area, that how much land is allocated to which crop is known as cropping pattern. And when this cropping pattern is related with the rainfall, with the soil, with the irrigation, water, seed, mechanization, basically means management. So cropping pattern plus management will be called as cropping system. Clear guys? So when I will say, suppose if I am standing in your farm, I visited southern part of India and said which kind of crop you are growing, you will say, sir, because if I will visit southern part of India, so definitely you will have new crop. So I am curious to know that what crop you are growing. So you are telling me, sir, on this part of land we are growing this crop, and on this part of land we are growing this crop. So can you tell me what are you talking about right now with me, about cropping pattern or about cropping system? You will say, if you are saying this part we are growing this crop and this crop, so sir, you are talking about the cropping pattern, of course, right? But if I will ask you which kind of crop you used to grow in Kharif and Rabi, and you will give me 2 answers. First of all, just take this example and tell me in the chat section which kind of crop you used to grow in your area, first in Kharif season, second in Rabi season. I will give the answer first. In my area in Punjab, mostly we used to grow paddy in the Kharif season and wheat in the Rabi season. So here we used to grow paddy and wheat, or call it rice and wheat, that is also fine. So paddy and wheat is the major 2 crops in our area. Now in your area you will give me different example. So the example which you are writing right now in the chat section, is it cropping pattern or system? Tell me guys, the example which you are writing in the chat section or the example which I already gave you about the Punjab, is it called cropping pattern or cropping system? We cannot call it cropping pattern. Why? Because I'm not telling you that on which area I'm using which crop or I'm growing which crop. Because cropping pattern will be in a particular season. Right now we are talking about the year, one agriculture year. So that means you said you are growing these crops. Like somebody said finger millet, Kharif finger millet, and then only Kharif you told me. Na? Rice and rice somebody said. Then somebody said maize in Kharif and groundnut in the Rabi. So why are you growing maize and Rabi? Because you have different climate. Why we are growing rice and wheat? Because we have different climate, and climate is the part of resources. That is a part of management. So that means the example which we are writing in the chat, it is cropping system. And if you will tell me what the area allocated to each crop will be known as cropping pattern. Clear guys? So cropping pattern is area allocated to the crops, and cropping system is cropping pattern plus management will be known as cropping system. Next one is cropping scheme. Cropping scheme is nothing here. I also have a scheme that today I will teach you first part of agronomy, then second part will be taught by Janvi ma'am. Third, I'm again going to teach you about the sowing, irrigation, and about the weed management in the third chapter or third session of this subject, which will start tomorrow at the 11 a.m. So this is something which is plan in my mind. So if you have a plan for the Kharif season, for the Rabi season, that sir, for next year I'm planning this crop I will grow in the Kharif, this I will grow in the Rabi. So this plan will be called as cropping scheme. So this is not cropping pattern, this is not cropping system. You have a plan in your mind. So that plan will be known as cropping scheme. The plan according to which crops are grown on the individual plot of a farm to get maximum return from cash crop, or maybe that can be food crop, while maintaining the fertility is known as cropping scheme. So now you guys are clear: cropping pattern, cropping system, cropping scheme. But some students are thinking, sir, what is crop rotation then? If you are making plan that this crop I will grow in this season, this season, this season, then what is crop rotation? Because cropping scheme means plan, but crop rotation is also a plan. See, cropping scheme is a plan which is based on the profitability. I am seeing the market trend, I am seeing the profitability, I am seeing the market price, MSP. Based on that, I am deciding that I will grow these crop to earn more and impact less on the fertility. But crop rotation is the rotation of the crops based on the scientific principle. Like what crop rotation will say? Crop rotation will say that after non-leguminous crop, you should grow legume crop. Like if I am growing rice in the Kharif season, so I should grow a legume crop in the Rabi. But we used to grow wheat only in the Rabi season. So Kharif was non-legume, Rabi was non-legume, but the principle of crop rotation says that legume followed after non-legume and non-legume after the legume crop. So first principle of the crop rotation is you should grow legume crop after the non-legume. Second says you should grow shallow root crop after the deep rooted crop, because deep rooted crop are taking the nutrition from the deep zone of the soil. Then deep zone of soil has less nutrient. This is why you should grow shallow rooted crop. So are we used to follow this? The deep rooted should be followed by shallow? Of course no. Then the rotation of crop, then the principle of crop rotation says that we should grow crops in a way that it should have minimum attack of the pest. For example, if in this season I had maximum attack of the cotton bollworm in my area and 70% crop is damaged by the cotton bollworm, so the principle of crop rotation says that I should skip growing the cotton crop in the next season, so that the pest spores which are hiding in the soil will also be destroyed if they will not receive host plant. So if you are changing the crop, if you are planning the crop, how to grow, what to grow based on these scientific principles, then it will be called as crop rotation. So crop rotation refers to practice of growing different crops in a planned sequence on the same land, aiming to improve soil health, manage pest and disease, and optimize resource utilization. So if the plan is based on the scientific principle, it is crop rotation. But if the plan is based on the profitability and just to use the proper soil, then it will be known as cropping scheme. Now I again need a Y in the chat section. Are you guys clear about the difference between cropping scheme and crop rotation? So we have discussed about the four terms. One is crop rotation, first is cropping pattern, second is cropping system, third is cropping scheme, and fourth one is crop rotation, right? Okay. So here you can see this is cropping scheme. So if I am planting paddy, maize for the Kharif season, wheat, mustard, barley for the Rabi, and vegetable and fodder for the Zaid. So this is simply a cropping scheme. But if I have a proper plan based on the scientific principle, it will be known as crop rotation. So you are clear about 4 terms? If yes, then let's move forward and talk about the next term, which will be cropping intensity. Do you know what is the cropping intensity of India? Of course, yes. है ना? So cropping intensity of India is 155%. Right now, if you will talk about the current data, so it is 155 to 156%. What is it? It is CI, cropping intensity of India. It is 155%. If I talk about the highest cropping intensity, so do you guys know which state has the highest cropping intensity? So the major factor affecting to cropping intensity, it is irrigation, because if you have irrigation, that means you will be able to grow crops on the more area. If you are growing more crops on the more area, cropping intensity will be higher. And do you know which state has highest coverage of cropping intensity? It is Punjab. So irrigation is the most important factor which impact cropping intensity, and Punjab has maximum Punjab has maximum irrigation. That means Punjab will have maximum cropping intensity. So always Punjab has more than 190% of cropping intensity, where the national average is 155%. Those who are from Karnataka, you should also know the cropping intensity of your state. Right, guys? Okay, now cropping intensity, 2 terms are very important, because before you understand the concept of cropping intensity, you should know about the 2 terms. One is gross cropped area and second is net sown area. Now, what is the difference between the gross cropped area and net sown area? So guys, what is the difference? Again, take an example. Suppose if I am a farmer, my name is Deepak Kumar, I am a farmer and I have 10 acres of land, just for an example, right? If I have 10 acres of land and I used to grow on these 10 acres in the Kharif season, in the Rabi season and little bit in the Zaid season. So suppose if in Kharif season, this year I cultivated 8 acres of land. In Rabi also I cultivated 8 acres of land, and 2 acres I cultivated, no 2, I will say 4, just to make the example easy. So I cultivated 4 acres in the Zaid season, right? So in Zaid, crops was grown on the 4 acre, in Rabi and Kharif on 8 acre. Now if you will see throughout the year, I have grown the crops on 8 plus 8, 16 plus 4, 20. So in 1 year, I have grown the crop on the 20 acres. So I was having 10 acres of land for the cultivation purpose, but in 1 acre, I was able to cultivate on 20 acres. So this 20 acre will be known as gross cropped area, and net sown area means the area which is available for the cultivation, and how much area I have for the cultivation, it is 10 acres. So are you guys clear what is net sown area and what is gross cropped area? Net sown area means area available for the sowing, and gross means in 3 seasons how much area we were able to cultivate. So my gross area for this year is 20 acre and my net sown area for this year is 10 acre. Now cropping intensity, the formula of the cropping intensity says gross cropped area divided by net sown area into 100. So my gross cropped area is 20, my net area is 10 into 100, so it will be 200%. So cropping intensity of my farm according to this will be 200%. I hope you guys are clear about the cropping intensity. If yes, I told you about the gross cropped area, net sown area. If you guys are clear about the cropping intensity, then tell me intensity of India. Based on this, it says net sown area in the India is approximately 141 million hectare. The gross cropped area seen an increase from 201 to 219 million hectare. So can you tell me what will be the cropping intensity according to formula? It will be 219 gross cropped area, 141 net cultivated area, and then into 100. So if you will try to divide this, so it will be 141. And what is a half of 141? it is 50 and 20 70, so 210. It should be, yes, of course, है ना. So if it will be 210, so that means 150%, but it is 219, so that means it will be more than 50% extra, so it will be around which I already told you, 155%. If you will try to calculate, it will come around this only. Let me calculate using the calculator. So see here what we have, 21900 divided by 141, and see the answer is 155.31. So this is the actual cropping intensity of India, because in India when we talk about the cropping intensity, we have net area 141, we have gross area 219, and this is how we used to calculate the cropping intensity, and it is 155.3. This is why somewhere you will see 156% is written, but most of the time the data says that our cropping intensity presently it is 155%. Okay. Right guys, let's move forward. So now everybody is clear about the cropping intensity. So cropping intensity, one more question is there. If I will say that I used to grow rice and wheat in my area, tell me the cropping intensity. I'm not telling you what I have total area, what area I'm cultivating in the wheat crop or rice crop. I'm simply asking that I used to grow rice and wheat, tell me the cropping intensity. So in this case, what you will consider, the total area is occupied by wheat, total area is occupied by the rice. So that means total is 20, I have 10 into 100. So if two crops I am growing without knowing the area, cropping intensity will be 200%. If I am growing 3 crops in a year, but a question is not specifically mentioning about area, then the cropping intensity will be considered 300%. And if you guys are clear, then tell me the answer of this. I told you the formula, gross cropped area net sown area into 100. If cropping intensity is less than 100%, it is known as low cropping intensity. If it is 100 to 150, it is known as moderate, and if it is more than 150, then it is known as high cropping intensity. Now the definition are getting changed. This is something which is in the book, but if you will see according to government definition in the current affairs scheme, now the government is saying if it is less than 120%, then we will consider it low cropping intensity, right? So 100 to 120, if the cropping intensity of state is less than 100 to 120, it will be low. 150 up to 150 it is moderate, and more than 150 it is considered as high. And if you are able to understand the cropping intensity, then tell me the answer of this question. I'll give you 30 seconds. Type the answer of this question, where the question says 10 hectare of net sown area and rice is grown on the 6 hectare, wheat on the 4 hectare, and pulses as an additional crop in the Zaid season on 2 hectare. Tell me the cropping intensity of this farm. I'm waiting for your answer. Yes, everybody is right. Rocky, Agriaddict 34, then bounce back. Next one, of course it will be 120%. How? 6, 4, 10 to 12, so 12 divided by 10 into 100, so it will be 120%. Okay. Factor affecting cropping intensity. So main factor is irrigation. Punjab has highest irrigation and mechanization. This is why Punjab has highest intensity. So factor affecting, one will be irrigation facility, second is fertility of soil, because you will be able to grow more crops on the more area if you have good fertility in the soil. Third is climate. Climate is also important, because if climate is not suitable, if climate is adverse like the global warming, so we will not be able to grow the crops. Next is technology and mechanization. Again, Punjab along with the irrigation has highest mechanization. So mechanization means if we have sufficient mechanization, we will able to sow on the right time, we will be able to harvest on the time, and we have less time in the harvesting of Kharif and sowing of the Rabi. But if we have mechanization, so task can be done with the minimum time, so it will increase the cropping intensity. And last is economic factor, like a farmer want to grow sugarcane, a farmer want to grow vegetable, because that vegetable has high demand in the market, but they should have all the resources. So these all factors will affect the cropping intensity of an area. After cropping intensity, next which one is very easy, but sometime in paper this is very difficult. The next one is crop rotation intensity. The previous concept was CI, but this concept is CRI. Don't say crown root initiation 21 days critical irrigation stage in wheat. No, it's not that CRI. It's crop rotation intensity. Talking about the crop rotation intensity, what is the meaning of this? Crop rotation intensity means it will be calculated by the number of crops taken the year into 100. For example, like the example I'm always taking in this session, rice and wheat. Everybody know that rice is a Kharif season crop, wheat is a Rabi season crop. So this system, if I am saying that in my area we grow rice and wheat, so what you know the number of crops are 2. Time taken for this crop is 1 year into 100. So crop rotation intensity will be 200% because the formula says number of crop in the crop rotation and number of year in the crop rotation. So rice and wheat take only 1 year. This is why intensity will be 200%. Example again, rice and pea. So rice in one season, pea in another season, that means 1 year, 2 by 1 into 100, 200%. But the next crop rotation is groundnut, wheat and sugarcane. Now groundnut and wheat in 1 year, sugarcane will take another year. So you have 3 crops, but it will take 2 years. So number of crops are 3, number of years taken in the crop rotation 2 into 100. So now what will be the answer? 50 into 3, it will be 150%. So in this scenario it will be 150%. Now I want to ask from you, tell me the crop, what happened? Fine. Guys, tell me the cropping intensity. No, I should hide this as well. Okay, I will hide this. Wait for a minute. I just want to make sure that you are able to understand. So I am just hiding 3 examples. Guys, tell me the crop rotation intensity of this system. Because here it is maize, potato, tobacco. Maize in one season, potato in Rabi, Zaid, tobacco 1 year, 3 by 1 into 100. That means the crop rotation intensity in this system will be 300. Rice, wheat and mung bean in Zaid, wheat in Rabi, rice in Kharif. Again it will be 300. In this, tell me what will be the crop rotation intensity, because paper can ask very simple question. Calculate the crop rotation intensity in this crop rotation. So they will write cotton, barley, sugarcane, pea, maize, wheat. Now tell me guys, what will be the crop rotation intensity of this? I'm waiting for your answer. So cotton and barley. See, cotton will take Kharif season, barley will take Rabi season. Next year will be taken by the sugarcane, and next year will be taken by these 3 crops. So we have 3 years of crop rotation system, and in 3 years how much we are growing? In 3 years we were able to grow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 by 3 into 100. So it will be 200%. If you are clear, then tell me the cropping intensity, crop rotation intensity of this system. Sugarcane, ratoon sugarcane. So sugarcane, ratoon sugarcane will be considered for 2 years. So 2 by 2 means it will be 100%. I hope you guys are able to understand cropping intensity as well as crop rotational intensity. Thank you so much, yaar. The one who is writing this compliment. Acha, it is not compliment, yaar. It is comment. Somebody said your Hindi lecture seems much interesting. So it's a negative feedback, na? That means you are getting bored in this session. Because Hindi lecture have so many fillers. Because in Hindi lecture, I know how to connect with the student. In English, I don't know, yaar. When I talk about that girlfriend, boyfriend, do you guys felt happy? Do you guys have smile on your face or not? It is difficult to understand you. And even I used to take classes for English medium student on Zoom. When I crack a joke in the class, they have very little smile on their face. And Hindi medium is the so we know how to make it interesting. But it's not about interesting or entertainment. It's more about information. If I am able to pass sufficient information in that duration, that means it is a good lecture. And this is how we used to show more efficiency in the English lecture, because the subject I used to cover in 18 lectures, the same subject I used to cover in English medium is 14 lecture, because they have more efficiency. So that's fine with me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Chalo, moving forward, guys. Now, are we clear about cropping intensity, about crop rotation intensity? If the question will be asked in the exam, so will you guys be able to answer? Everybody, yes or no? Okay, Atul bhai, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Bounce back. Okay, let's move forward, guys. Now you are clear about the concept. We are moving toward the next concept, that will be type of cropping system. So till now we learned about the basics of the agronomy, then cropping pattern, system, rotation, scheme, cropping intensity and crop rotation intensity. Now we are going to discuss about the type of cropping system. In type of cropping system, initially we talk about the monocropping, and along with monocropping I will also tell you about the monoculture. Then we will talk about the multiple cropping. So monocropping and monoculture, what is the meaning of this? Somebody in this class, when I was asking what is the cropping system of your area, so that guy said rice and rice. So that means in Kharif and in Rabi they are growing same crop. And one of my friend, he has a business of combine. So he used to give combine in the season the rental basis. So he know everything about the India, about the agriculture. So he was telling me that there is an area on West Bengal and Bihar border where people used to take 3 crops of rice in a year. I was not knowing about this because I have studied about this, that rice and rice is cropping system. But he told me there are some area in the India they used to grow 3 times rice. So maybe you are growing 2 times or maybe you are growing 3 times. If you are repeating the same crop in a year, it will be known as monoculture. And if you are able to grow only 1 crop in a year, it will be known as monocropping. Now please try to understand the difference. If only 1 crop in a year, it is monocropping. But if 1 crop is getting repeated, it will be known as monoculture. 1 crop, monocropping. One same crop again and again, it will be known as monoculture. So if I am growing only mung, if I am growing only maize, if I am growing only bajra in 1 year, it is monocropping. But if I am growing bajra and bajra, rice and rice, mung and mung, this is the example of monoculture. Monoculture, reason of monoculture can be like climate, because the climate is tropical always. This is why people used to grow rice and rice. In the area which has waterlogged area, they cannot grow anything else apart from rice. They will grow rice and rice, then monoculture will be there. And the area which has less rainfall, they don't have irrigation facility, so they will grow only 1 crop in the Kharif season when the southwest monsoon will come. So they are growing only 1 crop in the area. This will be known as monocropping. 1 crop in a year is monocropping, and same crop throughout the year will be known as monoculture. But people don't want to follow monocropping. They want multiple cropping. What is multiple cropping? If you are growing more than 1 crop in a year, if you are growing more than 1 crop in a year, it will be known as multiple cropping. More than 1 means it can be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or maybe more than 6. If it is more than 1, so that means in a year if 2 or more than 2 crops are there, it will be known as multiple cropping. Now multiple cropping will be divided into 2 parts. What are those 2 parts? One is parallel multiple cropping, second is sequential. So first of all, tell me, are you guys clear? Monocropping and monoculture, because if that is clear, then we will discuss about multiple cropping. And even before we move to the multiple cropping, we should discuss the third one also, because these two are not any subdivision, but this one has subdivision. So fallow or fallowing, what is the meaning of fallow or fallowing? There are 2 kind of fallow and fallowing. I will grow crop in the Rabi, I will grow crop in the Kharif, but I will keep the Zaid season as fallow. That is known as fallow or fallowing in the rotation. Secondly, if I have a marginal land, I don't have much fertility in the soil, so what I will do, I will grow 1 crop in 1 year, next year again 1 crop, then third year I will keep fallow because land doesn't have irrigation, land doesn't have fertility, then I will grow 1 more crop. So that means in 4 years I was able to grow only 3 crops. That means 1 year was there which was fallowing or fallow. So that year or that season where we are not growing any crop will be known as fallow or fallowing. If this is clear, then we can move forward to the multiple cropping. So guys, talking about the multiple cropping as the name says, multiple, like my shirt has monocolor, single color, but if you are wearing the shirt which has more than 1 color, so your shirt is multicolor. In the same way, if we are growing more than one crop in the field in 1 year, it will be multiple cropping. But how we can grow 2 crops in a year or more than 2 crops in a year? Either we can grow one by one. One crop in the Kharif, harvested, next in Rabi, harvested, next in Zaid. So if we are growing crops more than one in a year, but with the sequence, one crop, then harvested, next one crop, then harvested, next crop. So that means we are growing the crops in the sequence manner. So it will be known as sequential cropping. In sequential cropping, it will be double, triple or quadruple. Double means 2, triple means 3, quadruple means 4. So if you are growing 2 crops in the sequence, 3 crops in the sequence or 4 crops in the sequence, it will be known as sequential multiple cropping. But now you are confused, sir. Triple I can understand. If you will grow one crop in the Kharif, another in Rabi, another in Zaid, so you are able to 3 crops with the sequence, so it will be called as triple cropping. If you will grow Kharif and rice only, no crop in Zaid, it will be known as double. But sir, with sequence, how this is possible to grow 4 crops? So guys, generally this is not possible, but with the short duration variety, it is possible. If you are growing crop of 60 to 90 days, or if you are growing short duration vegetable, if you are trying to grow nursery, so in that case it is possible that nursery will complete the life cycle, not exactly C2 stage, but nursery life cycle means within 1 or 2 months. So in that scenario, rarely we can grow 4 crop in the sequence. So 3 crop in the sequence, triple cropping, 4 in the sequence will be known as quadruple. So this is the part of sequential multiple cropping, and sequential multi-cropping is the part of multiple cropping, where multiple cropping says growing of 2 or more than 2 crops in a year. But the major important part in multiple cropping is parallel multiple cropping. Do you guys know what is the meaning of parallel? Parallel, what is the meaning of parallel? Like right now, you are listening to me and I am speaking in front of you. So these two things are happening simultaneously. These two things are happening parallelly. I am speaking and you are listening. Both are happening same time, right? So this is something which is parallel. In the same way, if you are growing crop with the sequence, that will be known as sequential cropping. But if you are growing 2 crops at the same time, then it will be known as parallel multiple cropping, because multiple cropping means growing of 2 or more than 2 crops in a year, multiple cropping. But the concept of parallel multiple cropping says at the same time when you have 2 or more than 2 crops. So if you will see this image, even I told you that rice and wheat both at the same season, not possible. But if you will consider this example, so this is not sequential cropping. Why? Because sequential cropping says you should grow rice and after harvesting of rice you should grow wheat. But if we are growing all these crops at the same time, that means it is parallel multiple cropping. And if you see this example, 6 crops are there, so that means I am able to grow more than 1 crop. So this is also called as multiple cropping. But in multiple cropping, it's not sequential. We are not harvesting and sowing the next crop after that. We are cultivating at the same time, and then it will be known as parallel multiple cropping. Again, I need your confirmation here, because I'm little bit nervous at this time. Nervous not in teaching, nervous about your feedback, that whether you are getting 100% or not, because I consider myself as a good teacher if I am able to deliver 100%, not 99 or not 90. So I need your confirmation. Are you guys clear? Monocropping, 1 crop in a year. Multiple cropping, more than 1 crop in a year. Multiple cropping, if grown in the sequence, it is sequential cropping. If grown at the same time, 2 or more than 2, it will be known as parallel multiple cropping. Clear, guys? Thank you. Okay, let's move forward. Fine. So let's move forward. When we talk about the parallel multiple cropping, so the first example of parallel multiple cropping is mixed cropping. Everybody know that intercropping means when we follow a row or a distinct pattern, it is known as intercropping. In mixed cropping, what we do, we will just try to do the mixed cropping right now in front of you. So when we want to grow the fodder crop, barseem is a fodder crop. So I want to grow barseem in the field, but you suggest me a special variety of mustard. You said, sir, Japanese mustard is there. If you will mix the seed of Japanese mustard and barseem and then you will grow in your field, it will give you more fodder. I'm asking you, are you sure I should do this? You said, yes, you should go for it. So what I'm doing right now, I am mixing the seed of barseem as well as Japanese mustard. I'm mixing the seed. Now after mixing the seed, what I'm doing, I'm in my field, I will put the seed and use the broadcasting method. Broadcasting method, why I'm doing this? Because in broadcasting we used to do crisscrossing, and this is known as crisscrossing, one side, second side. So this is called as bidirectional or also known as crisscross method. Why? Because in two direction we are growing. So when I am putting the seed like this in bidirectional method by using broadcast method, guys, what I am doing, I am growing the seed of mustard, Japanese mustard as well as barseem. But do I am following any kind of fixed pattern, any kind of row to row method? No, sir, no fixed arrangement is there. You are simply broadcasting seed, but not one crop, two crops are there. So I am growing two crops at the same time. Can I call it parallel multiple cropping? Yes. And I am growing it without any fixed pattern. Can I call it mixed cropping? Yes. So mixed cropping is the part of parallel multiple cropping. Clear? The next one is relay cropping. What is relay cropping? So I hope so I don't need to show you video, because if I'll show the video, so it will create a copyright issue on the YouTube. So if you have seen that relay race, so in relay race one person is running with holding something in the hand. While running, he is about to stop, but before he stop, another person will hold the same, because earlier it was something else they used to hold like this, but nowadays they have something else in their hand, so they used to run fast. And before they stop, the next person will hold that, and now he will start running, right? So before the previous one stops, the next one will start running, and this is happening in the relay race. And the concept of relay race is taken in the agriculture, and concept is known as relay cropping. What is the meaning of relay cropping? In sequential cropping, what you were doing after the harvesting crop, you said I will grow the Rabi crops, but I am feeling that I have less time for the next season, so I want to grow the Rabi crop before the harvesting of the Kharif crop. Okay, sir, you can do. If I will sow the Rabi crop, upcoming pulses crop, before the harvesting of the paddy, so paddy was about to mature, but paddy needs a lot of water, so paddy is about to mature, but still there is moisture in the soil. I want to use this moisture, as well as I want to make sure that Rabi crop will take 4 months, Rabi crop say will take 3 months, but I have only 2 months to complete. So 1 month before the harvesting of this crop, I will broadcast the seed of the next crop. So before the harvesting, if next crop sowing will be done, it will be called as relay cropping. The concept is taken from the relay race only, because in relay race, before the one stop, another starts running. In the same way, before the previous crop will be harvested, the another will be sown. Relay crop, sometimes termed as overlapping cropping. Why it is called as overlapping? Because if I am about to end this lecture, another teacher is standing at this side, I will say, please, yeah, wait for 1 minute, and he will say, no, sir, your time is over. So both of us are standing at the same time. So this period is something which is overlapping. He want to start, but I am getting it delayed, right? This will be known as overlapping. So when two crops are there at the same time, one is about to harvest, second is about to germinate, this period is known as overlapping period, and this is why relay cropping is also termed as overlapping cropping. Clear? Next one. Next is LA cropping. What is the meaning of LA cropping? The meaning of LA, because LA is an English word, and LA means wider space, wider area. In Hindi it is called as Galiyara. You don't know the meaning of Galiyara, it is fine. Wider space means, suppose there are two big building. Big building means generally we used to construct our house, our home, 1 story, 2 story or 3 story. But in case of that last tower, they have 25 floor, they have 30, 35 floors. So one tower, second tower. But in between two tower, for fire safety, they will have to keep a larger way. And that larger way is known as LA way, right? So LA way is wider area. So when we are growing crops, when we are growing plants, so plant to plant distance is 15 centimeter, 30 centimeter, 45 centimeter. So that's not wider space, because 45 centimeter is not wider space. But if I will grow 2 rows of the tree, 1 row of the tree, second row of the tree. Now tell me yes or no. If 2 rows of tree are there, so there will be wider space in between. Yes sir. Can we call that wider space LA area? Yes sir. Can we grow a crop in that wider area? Yes sir. If the wider area is called as LA, and if I am growing crop in that LA area, so what that crop will be called as LA cropping. So LA cropping means when we are going to grow the crops in the LA way in between the 2 rows of the tree, it will be known as LA crop. I hope so after seeing this photo, definitely you will say yes sir, I'm 100% clear, because there are 2 rows of the tree in between wider way, which is known as LA. In between the LA ways, if I am growing a crop, it will be known as LA crop. Right, okay. After LA crop, next one is multi-storied. Multi-storied means different height. If you are growing 2 or more than 2 crops of different height, because multi-storied cropping I have never seen in my part. In my part means in North India. But I have, whenever I used to study the examples, so it seems like that you people are following this practice where you used to grow coconut along with the coconut. If rice crop is there, so rice has small height, coconut has long height. In between, if you plant one more tree which has less height than the coconut, even if you will not plant any tree. So if you are growing different height of crop together, so if you are growing together, it will be parallel cropping. If you are growing 2 crops together, it is multiple cropping, parallel multiple cropping. And if you are growing 2 crops of different height or more than 2 crops of different height, it will be known as multi-tiered or multi-storied cropping. Right. And the next one is intercropping. Intercropping means when we are following a fixed pattern, because generally intercropping is known as row intercropping. Row intercropping means when you are growing crops in the rows and space in between the rows, one more crop will be sown in that space, then it is known as intercropping or called as row intercropping. Now I need a confirmation from you. Are you guys clear about the multiple cropping? There are still few more examples I will explain in the next slide, but till now I need a confirmation. Are you guys able to understand? Your feedback is very important here. This class is going on YouTube, that is fine. But as you know, we have association with Agriaddict. So student from Agriaddict who is watching this class or who will be watching this class, again it is very important for me to make sure that those English medium students, because we are not majorly into the English medium. So if you are able to understand, then it is good. But if you are facing any issue, any doubt, please feel free to write in the chat section. Okay, one question is there, I will explain it. Fine. So one doubt is there. Doubt is asked by a student. He said, sir, if farmer follow relay cropping in North India, so can we reduce the straw burning? Say yes or no, guys. Can we reduce straw burning by using relay cropping? Because people from Punjab, farmer from Punjab used to burn paddy before the sowing of the Rabi season. But if they will grow earlier than the scheduled time, so obviously they will be having more time. So I think we can reduce the incidence of the straw burning. You will say yes, but the answer will be big no. Why? Let me tell you. Farmer who are in Punjab, because everybody know the highest productivity of rice, highest productivity of wheat, both are in Punjab. So that means for Punjab's farmer, it's not just a crop, it's a commercial crop. In commercial crop, they use maximum fertilizer, maximum pesticide, hybrid seed, maximum mechanization, maximum irrigation. Everything is at the peak. Why? Because the production is also at the peak. But do you think relay cropping is a scientific practice? Relay cropping is a practice which can promote commercial farming? No. Relay can be the part of subsistence. Relay can be the part of low productivity area. Relay can be the part of agriculture which is not highly commercial. Because relay means when you just try to understand, your crop is about to harvest and you are putting the seed with the broadcasting, it will create difficulty in the harvesting. Machine will not able to run in the field, you will have to do the things manually. Where high mechanization we have in the Punjab, do you think we are going to do the harvesting of paddy manually? Of course no, machine will not be able to operate. So relay cropping is something which is a solution for the farmer who has 1-2 acres of land and they are not producing more. But it's not a solution for the farmer who are producing a lot. For them, management is very important, time is very important, and to save time they will simply burn. Let me tell you one example. One student said that Hindi medium classes seems interesting, because in Hindi medium I have so many examples. Now I'll give you the same example which I used to give my Hindi student. It was last year and it was the end of the Kharif season and Rabi was about to start. I am in Mohali right now. I went to Jaipur. I was coming back from Jaipur on my car and I'm driving the car and everything was normal. It was around 5:15, 5:20 and I realized that within next 1.5 years I will reach to my house. So up to 7 p.m. it's completely fine. It was around 5:20 and I was thinking in my mind, it is the harvesting time and sowing season is coming and it is good that farmers are not burning paddy straw. Do you know, I was just thinking this thing. And after 10 minutes, I realized all the farmers are burning the paddy straw. Before 10 minutes, there was no incidence of paddy burning. But after 5:30, I realized every farmer is burning the paddy straw. I was driving the car, but what happened in between this 10 minutes that everybody started burning the straw? I was very surprised with this situation that in past 1 hour or in past 2 hours when I am driving throughout the highway, but I can see the farms, no one was burning. But sharp at 5:30 I realized all the farmers, because car is moving with the speed of 80 kilometers per hour and I'm seeing all the farmers are burning paddy straw. Why? I was curious to know. I talked to my friend from Punjab and he told me the reason. He said, sir, nowadays the straw burning is illegal. If you will burn the straw, so police will put FIR on you, police case will be there. And what is the evidence? Because if you'll burn the paddy straw and then plowing will be done, so you don't have any proof that burning was done, because smoke is in the environment and the residue is now mixed with the soil. You don't have any evidence. So how you can produce the evidence? Satellite used to capture the images. So when police make an FIR, they used to take the satellite images that you have burned the residue in the field. And do you know satellite has an orbit? Satellite used to rotate, so that means satellites are not there 24/7 at a location. Do you guys know this? If satellite is capturing my image right now, but satellite will not remain in this position 24/7. There will be a time when satellite is not available and that time is 5:30 p.m. in the Punjab. So farmers, in extension, we used to teach the student that farmers does not have awareness. Now just try to understand the awareness of the farmer. Farmer know that which satellite is capturing the images and that satellite is not capturing the images in that area sharp at 5:30 p.m. and then I come to know that satellite was not capturing the image for that 30 minutes. In that 30 minutes, all the paddy burning was done, and this was the reason when I was driving the car, before 5:30 there was no fire and after 5:30 there was fire. Now just try to understand. This is something which I am explaining you, but farmers are already knowing about it, and in extension we are studying farmers are not aware. I think they are more aware than the person who is making satellite, because satellite cannot take the images throughout the time, but they know that time, and in that time they are burning residue. So I was just trying to relate it with relay. So it is highly commercialized farming. Relay is not possible. Yes, hai na? Climate smart agriculture is about to introduce. Farmers are already very smart. Okay guys, so if this part is clear to you, so let's move forward. So I already explained multiple cropping, parallel cropping and sequential multiple cropping. So now you are clear what is the difference between parallel and sequential. Sequential means one by one and parallel means more than one crop at the same time. Now there are few types of intercropping, because mainly intercropping means when you are growing the crops in the fixed pattern, in a fixed arrangement, in row to row distance, it is known as intercropping. intercropping, but few different examples are there. Sometimes mixed cropping is considered as the part of intercropping because mixed cropping is written as mixed intercropping. So mixed intercropping and mixed cropping is totally same. Mixing of the seed and broadcasting it without the arrangement is known as mixed intercropping. Then row intercropping means growing in between the rows. So in between the row to row distance, if you are growing crop, it will be known as row intercropping. Patch intercropping. What is the meaning of patch? If you'll see on our roads, because our Indian roads made with the space technology. So in space technology, you will see so many holes are there on the road. So what they do, instead of constructing, instead of making a new road, they used to fill the patches, right? So patch work will be done when the road is not good and elections are about to come. So then they will fill the patch because they know how to get the vote, because if patches are there, so they will say, see the hole, so they will fill those holes by the patches. In the same way, if you are growing the crops, if you are growing if you are growing the crops in the patches, not in the fixed arrangement, in the patch, in between the patch, if one crop is there, it will be known as patch intercropping. Let me see if any image is there. In this we can say again, this is generated by the AI, not a perfect image, but if you are growing the crops in between the patches, it will be known as patch intercropping. Strip intercropping means instead of row, if we are growing in the strips, one strip of the crop, then another strip, then next strip. Instead of row, if you are growing in one strip, do you know what is the meaning of strip? Like in case of what is that word? Windbreak and shelter bed. In case of shelter bed, we used to plant so many rows of the tree. So that so many rows are known as strip plantation, right? So instead of growing one row, if multiple rows are there, then next crop, then multiple rows of the same crop, it will be known as strip cropping. But why strip cropping is the part of parallel multiple cropping or intercropping? Because we are growing more than two crops at the same time. The next one is relay intercropping, already discussed, multi-story discussed, LA discussed, and the last one is guard and trap crop. So guys, guard and trap crop means if a crop has more height and it is strong, then it will be planted around the main crop. So that means it is protecting the main crop. So that crop which is surrounded the main crop and protecting the main crop, it will be known as guard crop. And in case of trap crop, I have a suitable example for you. Trap crop is something which seems beautiful. It will attract the insect. So like in this example, everybody know that marigold is a trap crop. If you will grow marigold, so marigold will attract the insect. Insect will come on marigold and we will throw the marigold out from the field. So marigold is attracting the insect, and when insect will attack on it, we will put it outside, we will throw it outside and we will burn the plant. So it is working as a trap crop. What is the perfect example I have? Like if you have ever seen a species is there, species of animal which is known as human. You will say how? Human are also known as social animal. So there is a species of animal called as human. So those insect has two gender, one is male and one is female. If the both insect want to go to a function in a marriage, so one which is known as male insect or male gender human, so what male will do, he will simply wash his mouth and with wearing normal clothes, he will go to the marriage. But the female gender, first of all, that female gender will go to beauty parlor. After putting a lot of makeup from beauty parlor, at least 2 to 3 kg of makeup on the face, now this female insect will go into the marriage. Now those male who come just by washing the mouth will feel attracted toward these because they are not beautiful, but they are looking beautiful right now. Just a funny example, don't take it otherwise my sisters. So now the male will feel attracted toward the female. So in this scenario, the female which is looking beautiful is walking like a trap crop, and you who is attracting to that crop are like a pest in the marriage. If you'll do any activity, if you'll get attracted toward the trap crop, so people will throw you outside. In the same way we are doing this, insect will attack on the trap crop and we will throw the insect outside from the field, right? And guard will protect. So these are the example of intercropping, example of multiple parallel cropping. So here definition is given. I will give you this PDF as well. Even the PDF class PDF which I will add with this video will have detail of each and everything. Here I just want to explain. This is why very minimum content is there, but in the PPT which I will add will have more explanation so that you can revise in the minimum time. Okay, so parallel is now clear to you. Intercropping, everything is clear. Now in intercropping, two concepts are there. In intercropping, two concepts are there. One concept in intercropping, not two concept really, sorry. In intercropping, two series are there. One is replacement series, one is additive series. So what is replacement and additive? See this photo and you will understand everything. So guys, if you will see this photo, if I have planted cotton on my field, this is the original population of cotton, but in between the row there is space. Now I want to grow one more crop and see I have grown one more crop. The original population of the cotton is same or it is replaced, right? In additive series, what we are going to do, we are not going to disturb the original population. If you will see, when it is single, population is same. When there is intercropping, population is same. So that means we have added the second crop to this. So original population is same, but the one more crop is added to this. So in this scenario, the animation which you are experiencing right now on the screen, this is additive series where we do not replace the plant, where do not disturb the original population. We just add the secondary crop, we just add the intercrop into row to row distance. This is known as additive series. And here if you will see, now see carefully, cotton row are getting replaced with the intercrop. So this is not additive series. The animation which you can see, it will be known as replacement series. If you want to grow two crops at the same time, so which series you will adopt? This one, replacement series, or you will adopt this one which is known as additive series, right? So obviously you will say, sir, additive series. So there are two series in case of intercropping. One is known as additive series, one is known as replacement series. But that additive or replacement series is beneficial for me or not? How will I understand this? So we can understand this with calculating LER, land equivalent ratio. Land equivalent ratio is nothing. It is simple the ratio which will tell you the efficiency of the intercropping system. That's it. Suppose you are growing two crops in different area, right? 5 hectare one crop, 5 hectare another crop, and I am growing same two crops on 10 hectare of area by using intercropping. Now which system is beneficial? Your system where you are growing one crop at 5, another at 5, or my system where I am growing those two crops at 10 hectare because we have same crop, same area, but you are involved in the single cropping system, or say you are growing the sole crop, one sole crop, another sole crop, but I am growing in the intercropping system. So which one is beneficial? To know this, we need to calculate LER, and how we can calculate LER with this formula? Yield of intercrop will be divided by yield of sole crop. That's it, nothing else. Yield of intercrop will be divided by yield of sole crop. For example, guys, suppose if the production of a crop was 20 quintal when I am growing it in the sole crop, right? But the production is now 16 quintal when I am growing in the intercropping system. So how this formula work? Formula work for two crop, because if you are in the intercropping, so obviously two crops will be there, one crop, and in between the one crop another crop will be there. It can be replacement series, it can be additive series. So what will be the formula? Yield of intercrop A will be divided by yield of sole crop A, yield crop intercrop B, yield of intercrop B, or yield of sole crop B. If you are unable to understand, you will easily understand with this example, but just learn this formula: intercrop, sole crop, intercrop, sole crop. That's it, nothing else. Now in this it says maize crop. Maize yield when you grow in the sole cropping, it was 4 ton per hectare, but in the intercropping it was 2.5 ton. As the formula says, yield of intercrop A divided by yield of sole crop A. Are you guys clear how I'm writing 2.5 by 4 as per the formula? Yield of intercrop A, yield of sole crop A. Now the next part. part? Cowpea. So we have intercropped cowpea with the maize. Originally cowpea was giving me 2 ton production per hectare, but in intercropping it is giving me 1.8. So I will write 1.8 which is the intercrop yield of the B crop, and what is the sole crop yield? It is 2. That's it guys. 2.5 by 4, 1.5 by 1.8 by 2. So if you'll just try to divide, so it will be around 0.6, not exactly because it will be 0.625, right? It is around 0.6 and it will be around 0.9, right? 0.6 and 0.9 will be 1.5. So here the LER will be 1.5. Intercropping system no 615 हाँ ठीक है ना. So intercropping system will have LER. If LER is less than 1, this system is loss making. If LER is equal to 1, it is neither profitable nor loss making, and if it is more than 1, then the system will be considered as profitable. Here the LER is 1.5. So guys, should I go with this intercropping, yes or no? Should I go with this intercropping where I am getting the LER of 1.5? You will say yes sir, you should go with it. So if LER is more than 1.5, we should definitely go with this. So guys, I'll give you next 30 seconds. Tell me the answer of this. Tell me the LER of this example. What will be the LER where maize in sole crop 6, intercrop 3.5, soybean in sole crop 2.5 and intercrop 1.8. Formula will be very simple, 3.5 by 6, 1.8 by 2.5. Tell me the answer, what will be the LER of this, because if LER will be more than 1, then I will go for this intercropping. If LER will come less than 1, then I should avoid this intercropping. I'm waiting for your answer guys. Let's see who will answer first. Okay, 30 seconds about over. Okay, I got the right answer. Somebody said 1.3. Yes, according to my calculation, it should be around 1.3. Not sure exactly. 3.5 by 6, 1.8 by 2.5. So it will be around 0.6 and it will be around 25 और ये कैंसिल हो गया 180, 25 6 25 7 हाँ 25 7 175 हो गया ना. It will be around 0.7. So 0.7 or 0.6 means it will be 1.3. So the LER of this system will be 1.3 and it is more than 1. That means this system is considered as profitable. Now before I end this session, because you will be having your next session at 2 p.m, I need a confirmation from your side. Are you guys able to understand what is intercropping, what is replacement additive series, what is LER, how to calculate LER and which LER is profitable? If you guys are clear, I need a confirmation, and you will be having few more example. If you will try to calculate, it will take hardly 30 seconds for you, but then you will be able to understand it. And this is why instead of using replacement series, we should use additive series, because additive series will have LER more than 1, but replacement series will have LER less than 1, and if LER is less than 1, that means it is not profitable. So here the animation is showing about the additive series, but here it is replacing the original cotton population. So this is replacement series. Then sequential, double, triple, quadruple, fallowing I have already discussed. Now next we will discuss in the next part, where I will talk about the different type of crop, what is arable, break crop, augmenting, synergistic, complementary, companion. This will take 15 to 20, and then we'll discuss about the different types of farming, and after that we'll discuss about the different terms related to crop, and then we'll discuss about the irrigation and sowing. So this is going to be discussed in the tomorrow session. That will be third session of agronomy, because as I already informed you, second session of agronomy will be taken by the Janvi ma'am, where she will taught you about agrometeorology and dryland agriculture. So in second session, which will start at 2 p.m. by Janvi ma'am, and that session will be available on the application only, because it is the part, this lecture was the part of demo as the part of crash course. This crash course is available on the application of Agriaddict. You can contact them on this number. But along with this lecture, I will upload the video. Along with this video, I will give you the PDF of this class. In that PDF, the PPT I am using, it will be in the elaborated way. More elaboration will be there so that you can understand everything. Then PDF of agronomy question, the question which I have already shown you in the starting of the class. So this PDF will be uploaded along with this lecture, because this PDF has all the agronomy question which have been asked in past 5 years examination. So almost 250 around questions are there. And by studying these questions, what you can expect, first you will understand the pattern of the question, and secondly there will be few questions which will be there in your examination. So this PDF will help you. And third, what I am going to give you, it is agronomy test. That agronomy test will not be just a ordinary test. That agronomy test will have super explanation. Now what is the meaning of super explanation? You will see once you will attempt the test, but this test will be added tomorrow. Once I will cover the agronomy part, then you can attempt the test, but these two things will be added with the today's lecture. Now I just want a feedback from your side. How was the session? Is it useful for you? Whether you are able to understand? If yes, then what was your understanding level out of 100%? It was 70, 80, 90 or 100%. And if you have any kind of doubt, you can ask me right now. I requested you please stop advertising in middle of the study content. See, it was not middle of the content. See, it was end of the session. And it was not the advertising. See, this lecture was the part of that crash course. When I am teaching in on YouTube, so that means there should be no advertisement. But this is just the kind of for the awareness of the student that we are running a course. So this was for the awareness only. And see, try to understand. Don't be like a customer. Be like a student, because I'm asking for the feedback of my class. So you are free to give the feedback. But this is not I'm going to consider. The reason is, it was the end of class and I'm not advertising. What I said, this lecture was the part of crash course. Next lecture will be in the application only. This isn't advertising. This is information. This is called information. When I said these two things will be added with the lecture, this is called information. We cannot call it advertising. You should clear your concept between the information and advertising, right? Okay, thank you so much for the wonderful session. Only one request, we need similar PYQs PDF for other subject as well. Okay, so this is my promise. Whatever the subject I am going to take, I will give you this kind of PDF. So after agronomy, I will teach you animal husbandry, and after animal husbandry, I will teach you extension, because extension has also an important part in the state examination. So for extension, animal husbandry, agronomy, I will make sure that I will give you this kind of PDF, because I made this PDF last night only for agronomy. For animal husbandry, I already have that file, and for extension, I have time, I will generate it, but I cannot promise for all the subjects. The reason is, to collect these kind of questions, it take around 5 to 8 hours of continuous work, and we don't have that much time. But obviously, if you will say, we will try to ask each faculty member that they will also try to collect the answer from their own, they will also try to collect the question from their own subject. But for extension, animal husbandry, agronomy, it is already done. Extension, animal husbandry, I will give you those questions. Okay, I'm really sorry, yaar. I was unable to understand your message. Your message was not about this advertising, because this was information. Advertising, you were talking about the ad which come in between the class. I'm really sorry for that. I used to switch off the monetization in my regular classes, like in current affairs class, which I take early in the morning. I used to switch off the monetization, but I forget it. But I will make sure, if I am taking next class on the YouTube, I will off the monetization. I'm really sorry for that. And next time I will take care of it. I'm really sorry. I took the wrong meaning. I'm really sorry for that. Okay, guys. That's all for today. So I'll see you in the next lecture tomorrow at the same time, but take a break of 30 minutes and then attend the next section of agronomy. And I already gave you the number of contact person from the Agriaddict team, because the course is available on their application only. So that's all. I will see you tomorrow, but the next session of agronomy will start at 2 p.m. Take care. Bye bye. Have a good day. Jai Hind. Jai Bharat.